Hi there and welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. I'm IceMan and today we have a 10x get an extra turn. So again, this is another shard pull during the Brogni fusion. We're going to blow all our shards today in the attempts of getting some decent legendaries, getting the appropriate fragments for the fusion, and yeah, that's about it really. So we're going to actually start on my alternate account for once, purely because that's the one I logged in first, and yeah, let's get into it, shall we? So, I think we will start off with the Sacreds. And first up, we have Catacomb Counsellor. Not a brilliant champ, but you know, if you need a bog standard, easy to get hold of ally attack champion, he'll just about do it for you. I think it's this one actually. Teams up with 2 random allies yet, 3 when ascended. So if you're looking for a counter-attack champion and you don't have one of the others, he can do it for you. Grimskin. I don't really know much about this champ, to be honest. Now bearing in mind it is only a 10x. Normally I would not advise doing this, and obviously we're not at Steel Skull. I don't know that I actually have this chap. I think he might be a non-dupe, which is cool. He's actually supposedly a very good healer for the clan boss and whatnot. Increased defense, heals, removes all debuffs from a target ally. Yeah, it's got a cleanse, but it's only a target ally cleanse, which is a bit annoying. Personally, I think he's a bit sort of old school, one of the original champs from the game, and there are more champs that sort of outshine him these days, unfortunately. But you know, still, non-dupes is always good. Now, I'm pretty certain if I pull those, I'll be where I am, but we've just had 2x Ancients, so we're going to go with the Ancients now. And then see where we're at, because I think we've got 2x Sacred or Void coming next week. I believe it might be Sacred. Yes! Yes! Absolutely amazing, brilliant. Deacon Armstrong, one of the chaps for the 10x, and got him on our first temple. He's not a legendary, but apparently this guy is amazing and can be used just about anywhere. So let's take a look at his kit, shall we? Mace of Contempt attacks 1 enemy 2 times, which makes him somewhat viable for the Fire Knight. I think he's even the right affinity. Yes, he is. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a leech debuff for 2 turns. You can book that chance up by a further 20%. Sorry, hay fever playing me up, so you know, if it looks a little disjointed here, it's because I've had to stop because my hay fever's just going nuts right now. I love the beautiful weather. I don't so much love the hay fever, so I'm looking a little sort of puffy faced and watery eyed. It's down to that, and struggling to talk a little bit. Yeah, this can be booked up by a further 20%, taking that up to a 50% chance per hit. Leech on an A1, especially if you can stick him with a counter attack team, is brilliant. Really helps heal your team up. Okay, and so for his A2 we have Sweeping Retribution. Attacks all enemies and has a 95% chance when booked of placing a 60% decreased debuff for 2 turns. So you take that sniper mastery on him, that brings it up to 100. It can be booked down from 4 to 3 turns. That is really cool. He might even, I don't know if he's the only decreased defense champion on the Sacred Order, but he's certainly one of the main ones. I've already done Sacred Order 21, but I still think I'm going to be building this guy up because he's one of those champs that can just about play everywhere. Then we've got his A3, Time Compression. Ascended fills the turn meters of all allies by 15% and decreases the turn meters of all enemies by 15% and grants an extra turn. Plus this can be booked down from 5 to 3 turns. That is an amazing ability. So the arena, dungeons, you name it, it's going to help you just about everywhere. Maybe not clan boss this one. And I don't know if he uses this or not on as part of his kit on clan boss. If he does, it could cause problems with speed tunes, so you'd have to take it into account. But I have heard of some people actually using this instead of the likes of Seeker, to, because you can't decrease the turn meter of the clan boss, but you can increase your turn meter. So you use this as your speed boost on a 3-turn cooldown instead of Seeker, which also then brings you a leech to help heal you up, which for an unkillable isn't really that great or needed, but it does bring you a nice decreased defense. Personally, I'd rather use a slot for a decreased defense and weaken if you've got it, which I do in Thane. So for me, he wouldn't make my clan boss team, but it's a brilliant move, and it still shows that he is viable for the clan boss as well as just about everywhere else. So let's carry on, shall we? I also forgot to mention he's got a speed aura of 19, which is cool. Jotun. Actually, I don't know if I had this guy on this account. I pulled him on my main the other night, and I don't know if I had him on this one. Chancellor Yasmin. Don't know that I had her on this account, to be fair. Apparently her AI is broken, but she's kind of a cool character, I think. Bannerlords. We'll take a quick look at her, actually, because she is an interesting character. She's one I kind of want to build up if they fix the AI. Her A1 Ascended. Attacks one enemy and places an extra hit. The target has no active buffs. Neither here nor there. I mean, most of the time people will have buffs, but if they don't, she gets a little extra hit, so it just gives her a little extra damage. But her A2, Touch of Vigor, heals an ally by 40% of their max HP and heals by 60% if the ally has 50% HP or less. You can book the healing up, and you can get this down to a 2-turn cooldown. So you're talking about a 40 to a 60% heal on an ally on a 2-turn cooldown. That is huge. And then Lulling Chant, or A3, has a 50% chance of removing all buffs from all enemies, and then places a sleep debuff for 1 turn on all enemies who have active buffs. Again, this could be booked down to a 4-turn cooldown, and you can increase the buff chance from 50 to 75, 80 if you take the correct mastery. So that's really cool. It's Madam Ceres ish is not as good because hers is a much higher, I think, like 100% chance of doing it. But you still pair that with the fact that she's also healing big as well. That is really solid. Then she's got an increased ally speed in all battles by 20%. That's all battles by 20%, which is actually, again, very solid for an aura. Even better than Deacons, who we just looked at. So, you know, really cool champ. To be fair, I think I actually am going to build this girl out, because I think she could, it depends on the AI with her messing things up, but I still think she could be quite useful on my Bannerlords team for helping with support and everything. I'll have to look into that. We'll do one more temple, then I'm just going to pause, go take a look at, see where we're at with the event. Talia, a bit of an old school champion, but kind of cool. Never actually built one out fully. Okay, so I've still got a bit of a way to go. Note to anybody watching this, it may come out after the end of the event, but it'll still be useful information for next time. I just made a mistake, and I realised I was doing it as I made it. I collected my rewards, but the event currently on has like 3 days to go. There's nothing currently in the works that requires me to burn a load of energy, so it would have made sense to claim that as last minute as possible and use it where needed for the event. Whereas taking it now, it's sitting in my box, and you know, I'm not going to be regenerating energy. Admittedly, I was over that point anyway, so it's not the end of the world for me. But still, it's a good idea to think about when you want to claim your energy so that it doesn't go straight into your pot straight away. Little side note. Right, so we've still got a bit of a ways to go. I think we're going to try pulling a few voids, just to mix it up a bit. Justicar, he's actually a very cool looking champion, I have to say. He's just not a very good champion, but I do actually really like the aesthetic there. Fanatic, yeah, you got seen this guy before, he's not great. It's going to give us more points that we need for the event, so I think we're now maybe at that point of, let's pull some sacreds. Ultimate Galek, great champ if you haven't got one for spiders to do the HP burn. Just bear in mind, although he can do it himself, you want to ideally pair him with an attack up champion to help him get that out quicker. Still very cool champion. Mordecai. Yes. I mean, I'm doing really well at getting the shards and everything, but apparently this guy's a really cool champ anyway. So if I end up being able to keep him as well as fuse him, then I'm really happy with that. Not to mention, on the next training event, I can be building him up if I haven't already got all the points to unlock him. This guy we are going to take a quick look at. Purgatory is A1, attacks one enemy, has a 30% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 10%. That chance can be booked up by a further 15%, so what, 45? 50 if you take the mastery. Has a 60% instead if the target is under HP burn debuff, so that would be higher, and then 75 if he's under HP burn and you booked him out. Is A2, times undoing, 75% chance of decreasing the turn meters of all enemies by 15%, and fills the turn meters of all allies by 15%. This is on a 3-turn cooldown when booked. So it decreases turn meter on the A1, decreases and fills turn meter on the A2. That's pretty solid. Heavenly Flames has a 75% chance of placing a HP burn, 100 when booked, on all enemies for 2 turns. Places a 50% increase attack buff on all allies for 3 turns. Man, this guy is going to be huge on this account. I'm actually, I've got the champs there, I've just not really played around with it enough, and I need to. I've only not that long ago recently got up to Spider 20 with this account, and this guy's going to be huge for it. He's going to be better than anybody else I've got, I think, and he's also the right affinity to tank. Looking at his stats, he's probably not the most tanky of champs, but you know, with all the turn meter decrease and turn meter fill and everything, he's an ideal spider tank. And then AoE HP burn on a 4-turn cooldown, and increase attack on all your allies. This dude is massive. I can see why people were saying he's a great champ. Then he's got an aura that you unlock, increase ally accuracy in all battles by 40. So again, if you're lacking accuracy for some of these Doomtower bosses, he'll certainly help there as well. In fact, you notice the guy's all like burnt and scarred and got all these bandages around him. He's cool. I have to say, I really like this chap. So that's all the sacreds pulled. Let's summon the ancients. Right, nothing on the last 10 pop. Right, we'll see where we stand. I may well leave it there and save the voids. Okay, so we've pulled all the required shards anyway. We've got the fragments we need on this account. So we're now going to hop over to my main account. And I will be right back, but we're not going to play that video again in this video because we've done that recently. So, you know, we don't like to do that too often. Okay, and we're back on my main account, and not quite as many sacreds here. Not quite as many voids, and definitely not as many ancients. So I'll almost certainly end up having to pull some mystery shards on this account to get the required fragments, but again, I should be good. It'll be a little tighter, take a little bit longer, and obviously not all of those are going to be open on this video because nobody wants to see those. Tomb Lord, cool. This chap is one of the ones from the event, I believe. Very cool. Very, very cool, actually. I've been needing somebody that lays loads of poison to match with Xavier so I can blow stuff up. Because I don't have a Taurus on this account. I have 2 on my alternate account, but none on this account. Let's take a look at his skill, shall we, while we're here. I know we're doing that a lot on this video, but we're actually having some really good luck. I tend to do better on 10x's for some reason than 2x's a lot of the time. So, Crippling Blows is A1, attacks one enemy 3 times, so that makes him pretty solid for the Fire Knight, and he is actually the right affinity. Places a 30% decreased speed debuff on the target for 2 turns if the attack's critical, so not even a chance to do it, he just does it. So you build him out for crit and you're putting out decreased speed, which is cool. And then Death Burst is A2, ascended, attacks one enemy and has a 70% chance. Let's see, 25, 30%. That's odd. I've not seen them book out quite that much before previously, but yeah, 30% chance to book it up if you put the books into him, which I don't have at the moment. Thank you, Clan vs Clan. Soju Plarium, I am not buying books, I refuse to. I'll just use him unbooked for the time being, as annoying as it is. And next time Clan vs Clan's around, sorry guys, but I'm not going to keep blowing all my books on that silly event that is designed to do exactly that and get us to blow all our resources just so we have to buy them again from Plarium. That's the only reason they even released it, not to do any good for the clans, not to make the game more fun for anybody, purely to line their own pockets, and only that. Clan vs Clan is the worst thing to happen to this game in my opinion. So attacks one enemy, has a 100% chance when booked of placing 2.5% poison debuffs on all enemies for one turn. If the hit is critical, again has a 100% chance of placing 5% poisons on all enemies for one turn. So yeah, that is really solid. 4 poisons going out there if he crits, and obviously I build him for crit and when I book him out, but in the meantime until I do, the chance is lower and not great, but I'll probably take that mastery to help buff that a little bit. But yep, that is a very cool ability and it's exactly what we want and need to blow stuff up in like dragons and whatnot. It's A3, Blight level, Blight level 1, Blight. Decreases the turn meters of all enemies with less than 50% HP by 100%. And has 100% chance when booked of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Also has 100% chance of placing 60% decreased defense debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. So he does decreased attack, decreased defense, and gets an extra turn if the enemy's turn meter is decreased by this skill. So that's pretty cool. If they're low on HP, he'll come in, he'll buff. You'll lower their defenses, lower their attack, gets another turn, then he can come in for a final killing shot. That is really cool. People don't talk about this guy much these days, but even though he's an older champion, he seems pretty solid. That's on a 5-turn cooldown when booked. That's the only drawback there. This one's on a 3-turn cooldown when booked. And at least this guy doesn't take a stupid amount of books. Well, fair few, but I'd leave the books on the A1 if I can. Obviously we don't get a pick, but that's what, 4 on the A2, 4 on the thing, so 8 with some luck. I'm rarely that lucky with books, but you know, if you can manage to do it, great. 8 books and he's fully booked, that's solid. Not that I have 8 books to spend, but you know, we've already gone there. So let's pull our next shard, shall we? Fane, great champion. In fact, you know, by all means go take a look at the guide over there. This champion is amazing for clan boss. To be fair, clan boss and faction wars is where I use her. Decrease defense on a single target and weaken, and pretty solid poisoner. So you know, really good champ. You can't knock her. Of course, I've already got one, so no use to me. I think I might have a spare, so she'll be food. Anax, I don't think I had this guy, so and he's part of the 10x, so this will be pretty cool. This is actually kind of annoying because I think this guy is basically, you'd use him or Fane, really, because they do kind of the same stuff. So this guy, on his A1, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 35% chance when booked of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. Now on an A1 that's pretty solid, and with 2 hits you've got a fair chance of landing it. Deathly Icors is A2, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 100% chance when booked of placing a 50% decreased accuracy debuff and a 5% poison debuff for 3 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. That's pretty cool. It's only 1 poison, so he's not going to be laying out loads of poisons. and decrease accuracy. I think that's more, he's probably actually designed for and better for Doom Tower bosses, to be fair. So I may build him up for that. Decreased accuracy on those bosses is huge. Soul Feast is a 3, attacks one enemy and has a 100% chance again when booked of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. Heals his champion by 50% of the damage inflicted on a 3-turn cooldown when booked. So, and then obviously he's got this passive that you unlock at Ascension. Revenant places a 60% increased defense buff on this champion for 2 turns when their HP drops below 75%. Places a 50% increased attack buff on this champion for 2 turns when their HP drops below 50. Grants an extra turn when this champion HP drops below 10%. This could throw you out with Clan Boss Unkillables, but other than that, he could actually be kind of cool. Personally, I'd still go for Fane. She brings both of these, the defense and the weaken, on one ability. And I think she does more poison, so personally I think she's still a better champion. But he's still a very solid champion. Basilisk. I think this chap's the one that's the hardest hitting lizardman. I'm actually building one out for Faction Wars currently. Let's move on to the Ancients. Catacomb Councillor, apparently he's in the mix. You notice they seem to have a little pool of champions that they bring out. Balthus Drauglord, I got one on my last pull. Let's just pull these last 2 Ancients. Rich. It looks like that amaranthine skeleton that pops out on the Voids Raider. I mean, we already got a legendary on this video, so I am totally chuffed, and he's a decent legendary at that. That I think, A, he's going to actually solidly help my faction that he's in, and I believe he's certainly going to help me clear the dragon faster and speed farm it and stuff if I get him built out. So, you know, I'm really chuffed with that. So we're going to pull out all our voids because, like I say, we're lower on shards for this one. We've not got as many ancients or as many sacreds to pull, so we're probably going to need them all for the event. Bellower, great champ. Don't really use him on this account because I had other AoE champs. Bulwark, another cool champ. For an early to mid clan boss, he can be quite useful. Retainer. Harvester. We're not expecting much here, but you know. If we were to pull a really cool Void Legendary, I'd be totally stoked, but normal chances, handful of shards, we're really not expecting it. Renegade, kind of a cool champion, like as a mini Kymar thing going on with her. And Daywalker to finish it up. So that's all the shards you guys are interested in. Hey, it was a good video, it was fun, I enjoyed it. We blew all our shards, literally. Okay, I've still got to pull some mystery shards to finish me off for the event, more than likely. But anyway, it was a good fun video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, please hit that like button. It lets YouTube know it was a good video and more people should watch it. And you know, if you like my content, please hit the subscribe button, ding that bell, and you'll get notified on the next time I release a video. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'll catch you in the next one. I'm IceMan. See you later. Bye.